Hey guys, here's another day in the life of Vintage Classic Specialist video. Today Rafa and I both actually worked on the Ghia pretty much all day. We're just at a good point right now with the other projects where we both had time to work on this one. So Rafa spent a good bit of the morning going through all the tin. I had gathered it up yesterday and spent some time cleaning it and so on. Today Rafa kind of went through it with his famous fine-tooth comb and welded some little areas that needed some attention. This one needed a little patch that you can see he did right there. A little bit of welding on the fan shroud. I think we replaced a couple parts that were missing and or pretty bad. One of these things was missing that goes kind of on the back of the cylinder, facing you if you're looking at the engine. One of those was missing. We had one in stock. I think this piece right here, this, I don't know, sled is what I call them. I guess other people call them that too, that goes underneath the engine. One of those was pretty damaged, so we luckily had one of those in stock. So yeah, anyway, these parts are all going to powder coating tomorrow. By the time we finish this up this afternoon, it was a little late in the day to take stuff over. It's not like they were probably going to start on it today, so I'll go ahead and run this stuff over in the morning to Americoat, our friends that are a couple blocks from here that do all our powder coating. So other than that, Rafa worked on cleaning some other parts, getting them ready for zinc plating. I cleaned up some of these as well. So these parts in this bag here are all going to zinc plating. We're actually going to do gold on all this stuff. For some of the later cars, gold zinc plating is correct looking. It's really going to look good on here. All these random parts for the air cleaner, little flapper and stuff, gonna look really nice gold. The front and rear hood latch mechanisms and so on. So yeah, I'll probably go ahead and take this stuff over tomorrow too. The intake manifold itself, we're actually looking at a replacement right now. We may just buy a new one. We're having a hard time finding a good used one, at least in our usual kind of supply chain that's not plugged. And this one's pretty roached. You can see somebody's fixed it, but then it's broken through there, so we don't want to use that. Anyway, so for me, pretty much finished finally down here cleaning. You can see I've got the driver's side frame horn pretty cleaned up now. Did a little bit of scraping up underneath there. Probably do a little bit more, but again, this isn't going to be a show car. It's not really a, high-end restoration. We're just trying to make it nice for the owner without charging him $1 million here to do every square inch of the car. So I think he'll appreciate what we're doing here, clean it up, and then we'll undercoat all up underneath here once we get a little bit prepared a little bit better. I actually went ahead and pulled the doors apart today, or at least pulled the windows out. All the scrapers and everything were super crusty on here, so that was one of the things we talked about, was replacing all that. So windows got to come out. Probably go ahead and pull the vent windows. Tomorrow we'll go ahead and replace all these seals while we're at it. Might as well. Luckily the windshield and the rear window rubbers are really nice and compliant, so we're not going to touch those. And then spent a little bit of time up front here just cleaning up things. I removed the fuse box and went ahead and pulled the horns out. I tested them, they both work. For those of you that don't know, on Karmann Ghias there's two horns. So each one goes on either side of this opening, which is where the horn sound comes outside the car. But the horns are two different tones. One's kind of a higher tone and one's a lower tone. So it makes kind of a distinct sound when you honk the horn on a Ghia compared to like a Beetle or a Bus that just has a single horn. I don't know why they did that, but it's kind of neat. And anyway, I tested both horns and they both work beautifully. So yeah, we'll clean them up and reinstall them when after we paint this all this up in here. So those are kind of the main things today. You might have noticed that I pulled the rear bumper today. It's sitting over here. Again, we're going to actually have our neighbor shop, Octavio's, that does a lot of our upholstery and some of our paint and body and metalwork. We're going to go ahead and farm this out to have him replace this section over here. And I think we're going to go ahead and replace the entire back section. You can see there's a seam right here, which is where this piece goes from there to there. At first we were talking about just replacing maybe the left-hand third where it's all rotted out here, but you know, there's some other holes and stuff over here, and it's banged up a little bit. So I think it makes sense to just drill out all the spot welds and replace the whole thing rather than kind of graft it in and then have to grind welds and do kind of body work over here. I think it's going to make more sense to just replace the whole thing. And then while we're at it, the rear valence here is a little bit beat up looking. This is pushed in here. The car probably got rear-ended at some point, and the bumper support kind of pushed into the body. So while we're at it, we'll have him kind of beat on this little panel here a little bit and get it in a little bit better shape. You know, again, we're not going too crazy on it, but while we've got it apart, might as well do some little things like that to it. So yeah, that's pretty much it for today. Probably tomorrow I'll continue working on this one some. Again, pull out the rear quarter windows and some other odds and ends, and we're gonna probably put some wheels and tires back on it and roll it over to Octavio's shop next week so they can go ahead and take care of this metal work back here, and then the two rear floor pan sections, go ahead and have them replace those while they're at it. And yeah, and then we'll bring the car back and do a little painting in the engine compartment and the front area, and then pretty much start putting it back together. So hope to turn this car around relatively quick, and by that I mean, you know, probably a couple months or so. We have a bunch of other projects we're working on, so we can't really always work full time on this one, but you know, at the same time we want to try and turn it around pretty quick for the owner. He actually also has a very cool Myers Manx, an original Myers Manx, that he wants us to kind of do the same thing to. So we're looking forward to getting that one in as well. We'll probably go ahead and take that one when the Ghia leaves. So yeah, anyway, that is it for today, guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.